This defense is designed to let you shut down the high-powered passing offenses that dominate college football 26. Most players play defense by running basic zone coverages or blitzing non-stop, hoping they get lucky. Cover 6 Willie is different. It combines match coverage on one side with man coverage on the other, forcing the offense to attack two different structures at the same time. By the end of this video, you'll understand every rule of Cover 6 Willie and how to use it to take away the meta routes offenses rely on most. So what is match coverage? It isn't passive zone and it's not pure man, it's post-snap reading. In match coverage, defenders start in a zone structure, but they read releases and patterns, and based on what routes develop, they will either lock onto players in man, or pass routes often become free to help bracket players or overlap windows. That flexibility is what creates such a tough pass defense. Now, what makes Cover 6 Willie so effective is how it disrupts the go-to passing concepts most players rely on. Corner routes don't flow open, they get capped by the quarter safety and overlapped by the matching defender underneath. Deep crossers don't run free, they get funneled, passed off, and doubled at the catch point. Vertical shots get matched step for step instead of getting isolated one-on-ones. Now, this breakdown is part of a larger defensive system that I'm calling my Big Ten defense. We break down 3 elite defensive units, all built to be run out of the 4-3 multiple playbook and combined into one complete scheme, and this Cover 6 Willie coverage can be found in all of those systems. So now we are going to look at the rules for Cover 6 Willie when we face a 2x2 formation. Now, when I say 2x2, I mean 2 receivers on each side of the ball. And before we go position by position, let me explain the numbering system I'll be using. You'll hear me say things like read 1 to 2, 2 to 1, or even 1 to 2 to 3. That numbering starts from the outside in. Number 1 is always the outside receiver. Number 2 is always the next player in, inside most player in a trip set. Now let's break down the rules for every position, starting with the cover 4 side where we'll be playing quarters coverage. Now, our outside corner is going to read 1 to 2, and his job is simple. If number 1 goes vertical, so 5+ yards up the field, he matches him everywhere on any route. If number 1 breaks inside or shallow, then he's going to zone off and look to help on number 2. If he runs deep like a corner route or a streak, then he will double him. Now, if both 1 and 2 stay short, the corner is just going to drop out into a quarter zone. Now we have our safety on the quarter side, and he's going to read 2 to 1. If number 2 goes vertical, so 5+ yards, he's taking him anywhere on that vertical route. If number 2 goes shallow or inside, the safety snaps his eyes to number 1 and then helps bracket anything deep into the middle of the field. Now, if both receivers stay short, he becomes a free player and can help on any route he sees come open. And then we have our quarter flat. He's going to first jam the number 2 if he releases vertically, then he'll just look to the flat and pick up anything out there. Now, if number 2 goes quick to the flat, then he will just take him and match him underneath. Then if number 2 runs a wheel, he's just going to match him up the field and convert to man and take him deep. Then if there's no flat threat right away, he's just going to look to play the flat and wait for something to come to his area. Then we have our 3 receiver hook. His main job is to help over the middle of the field and look for crossers or anything that gets open over the middle. Then he is also going to be helping in the flat to the man side if the running back releases to the flat and is not matched. Overall, he's a floater who's going to look to double crossers, jump underneath routes, and then clean up any extra players going to those flat areas. Okay, then we have our Cover 6 Willie man side, and this is just going to be man coverage across the board with safety over top. So our cornerback is just man coverage on the number 1 receiver. He's going to run with him anywhere he goes, vertical, inside, or outside. And then a lot of the time, this corner will be playing press man, so make sure you have a defender with solid press and man coverage attributes. Then we have our inside defender who's going to man up number 2. This is usually a slot receiver or a tight end, and he's just going to man him up all over the field, shallow, vertical, or across. Then we have the deep safety. He's going to be simply helping over the top. His job is to cap any vertical routes from 1 or 2. Then he can also keep his eyes open for routes coming deep from the match side. Okay, now we're going to look at our Cover 6 rules verse 3x1, and on the trip side, it will be playing palms instead of quarters on our match side. So first we have our cornerback. He's going to be Meg, so man everywhere he goes on the number 1 receiver. So that could be vertical, slant, dig, crosser. He's just going to follow all over the field. Then we have our quarter flat. He's going to read 3 to 2. So if number 3 goes immediately to the flat, he just drives on it and matches him. If number 3 goes vertical or into the middle, so a seam, crosser, or even a drag, he's now snapping his eyes to number 2 and man manning him up, so he will match him and take number 2 on any route on the field, whether he goes deep or short. Then we have our trip side safety. He's also going to read 3-2, so if number 3 goes vertical, the safety just takes him on anything seam, post, corner. If number 3 stays shallow and number 2 goes vertical, now the safety picks up number 2 and takes him wherever he goes. Then if both 2 and 3 stay shallow, he becomes free to help over the top, usually looking for the number 1 receiver breaking in or a route from the solo side coming over. Then we have our hook defender. He's going to wall off number 3 if he's running a vertical crosser before passing him off to the safety and sinking back into the middle of the field. He can also take away quick seams, benders over the middle, and he can just jump these routes. Then he can also help in the flat on the man side. If anybody comes into this area, he will match him up and take him across the field. Okay, then we have our backside rules versus 3-by-1. So our cornerback, he's just going to be man coverage on the number 1 receiver. He's going to take him anywhere he goes, vertical, inside, or outside. Then we have our linebacker. He's going to be manned up on the running back. And if the running back releases, he's just going to run with him everywhere he goes. But if the running back stays in the block, then he's going to be immediately free to look for work over the middle of the field. Then we have the backside safety, and he's just going to be helping over the top. He's responsible for capping any vertical routes from number 1 or the running back. Then he also is going to be looking to help if anything comes from the trip side vertical, and he can help on those routes. Then if you're liking what you're seeing so far for this Cover 6 Willie breakdown, on Scheme Kings, we have 2 playbooks up for this Big Ten defense with Ohio State and Michigan so far, and both utilize Cover 6 Willie in their system. In each playbook, you'll get full breakdowns of every pressure, coverage, and front, adjustments, coaching notes, and when to use icons. And the best part, tap any play and instantly watch the full video breakdown embedded directly inside the playbook. And for the Big Ten defense specifically, we still have our Penn State defense on the way, and once the full system is complete, you'll get an in-game defensive call sheet. Then on Scheme Kings, we have other full playbooks live for both Madden and college football, and going forward, every future scheme on the channel will use this same playbook system, and you'll get everything for one price instantly as soon as it releases. And right now, the entire site is on sale until February 10th. Use code BIG10 for 50% off your first month. Now, if you want to use Cover 6 Willie, the rules and how it plays will be the same in any formation or playbook in college football 26 or even Madden 26. Now, I'm going to break down some in-game examples of me using this defense online so you can see how effective it can be. Now, whenever I play 3-by-1 sets, I like to use the linebacker in man coverage on the running back. At the snap, your read is simple. If the running back stays in a block, you're immediately free. You're no longer responsible for a man. You're hunting routes. You can help on digs, crossers, or any routes breaking towards the middle. Now, if the running back releases on a route, you just run with him, take him in man coverage wherever he goes. Now, against 2-by-2 sets, I like to use the safety who's in match coverage versus these formations. This is great because once you know the rules, you can cover the number 2 receiver if he goes vertical and lock him down and even make plays on the ball. But then if he stays shallow, you are completely free. You're looking to help on post, crossers, or any late developing routes breaking into space, and you can make a ton of plays in this role. Now, one of the biggest strengths of Cover 6 Willie is that it's a true hybrid coverage. On the front side, you have match coverage, quarters or palms with defenders passing routes off, overlapping zones, and creating double teams. On the back side, we have man coverage. That means the offense has to attack 2 different coverage structures at the same time. Routes that work against match don't automatically work versus man. Concepts designed to beat man don't always beat match. This forces hesitation, late decisions, and just allows us to make a ton of plays defensively. Now, even though Cover 6 Willie starts from a 2-high shell, it's a very solid run defense, especially against shotgun-based offenses. On the match side, our safety is a primary run fitter, triggering downhill once the run is declared and flying to the football. On the backside, both defenders in man coverage have built-in run fits as well, so they will be flying downhill to the football. Now, to get the most out of Cover 6 Willie, we don't want to play it every snap. Disguise matters. We do live in 2-high safety shells in this defense a ton, and from those pictures, we can play Cover 6 Willie in other 2-high defensive looks, or we can bring a wide variety of pressures that we have in our Big Ten defenses, like our sim pressures and overload blitzes. So now when offenses see Willie a few times, they start sending extra players out on routes to overload our coverage. That's when we start blitzing. Free runners get home, quarterbacks rush throws. Then once they start keeping extra players in the block, your coverage gets even stronger on the back end, and that's how we pair our match coverage and pressure together. Then if you liked what you've seen here, make sure you check out Scheme Kings. We have our full Michigan and Ohio State defensive playbooks up with a ton of stuff you can pair with this Cover 6 coverage. And if you want an in-depth breakdown of this whole Big Ten defense and the personnel we are going to use, and a look at the 3 schemes that make up this whole defense, check out the Big Ten defensive intro video right here.